All right. So what we're talking today is social selling. And I cannot tell you how excited I am about bringing this to you. Okay. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is how to build a pipeline of your ideal clients in as little as 15 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes a day. And I know that seems like a dream, right? That you could do it in that little time. But the way that you do that is by having a system. If you have a system, it saves you so much time that you absolutely can build that pipeline and generate leads on a daily basis in as little as 15 to 30 minutes a day. I usually spend right around 20. And I have a lot of clients who started at 30 and they're gradually getting it lower. So, that's all good. Stick with me until the end of this because at the end, I have a special um, reward for you for learning about how to do LinkedIn. I'm going to give you a copy of my LinkedIn roadmap, which is the 4 stages of the 4-step social selling index or selling system that I'm going to be explaining to you. And you're also going to get a video that takes you through the roadmap. And additionally, over the period of a week, you're going to get all kinds of other cool tools that you can use to get LinkedIn right where you want it. Build that lead generation funnel right there. Okay, so here's what we're talking about today. First, what is social selling, right? And then secondly, we're going to look at the LinkedIn Social Selling Index, and it's commonly referred to as the SSI. Make the SSI your friend because it is the best way I know to keep track of how well you're doing in your sales activities on LinkedIn. And then finally, we're going to go over that 4-part social selling system. So let's get this show on the road. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, so you're in the right place. This information is going to really apply to you if you're a purpose-based or purpose-driven entrepreneur who's tired of struggling to find your next client, and there's nothing worse than that uncertainty about who's in the pipeline. I'm okay with not having a new client every week because I can't take a new client every week, but I'm not okay with not knowing that I'm grooming people and I'm bringing people down this pipeline so that when I do need new clients, when I am able to open up my schedule again, I have room for them and I have people to fill those slots. So I can think back to the days when that wasn't true, and I don't want that for you. So let's keep going with this. So what I wanted to tell you about me is that my whole purpose in being here is to help you get more clients, get more of your ideal clients, the ones that you were really meant to serve, and do that in a way that's also going to enable you to build a sustainable business because I want you to succeed. I'm a coach. I'm a certified coach and a licensed counselor, and I believe in making a difference in the world. And I know that when you are purpose based, when you want to make a difference in the world, you can. And that is so important, especially right now. The world needs you. And I want to make sure that you are able to build the kind of business success that will make it possible for you to help people not only today, but 20, 30 years down the road if you still want to be doing this then. So that's my reason. And I would love it if you could put in the chat what your big why is. Why do you do what you do? I do what I do because I want to help you succeed. I want to help you do your big why. So if you can tell me in one sentence what your big why is, I would love to hear it. All right. So, first of all, what is social selling? Well, this is a definition that I think pretty well covers it. It's really a way to build relationships with clients or with potential clients based on mutual respect and trust, so that when they're ready to purchase someone who purchase services from someone like you're the first one they think of, because they've built a relationship with you, they respect you, they trust you, and they know that you're the person who will help them. So it's building that relationship early on and then taking them through their entire buyer's journey so that when they're ready to make that decision, you're the one who's top of mind. Okay, so why is it so important? Well, first of all, it allows you to focus on clients at every stage of their buyer's journey. And we're going to cover the buyer's journey in just a minute. But know that it has various stages. Buyers don't just wake up one morning and say, oh, I need a solution. They're out there looking at it. There are several stages. First, they recognize that they have a problem, right? And then they start shopping around for solutions. And then finally, they're ready to make a decision. Well, you want them to know about you through all of those stages so that when they get to that decision making stage, they're ready for you. Oh, let's see, Joyce. Joyce's big why is to develop mutually beneficial professional relationships that focus on social impact and result in joy and prosperity for the people of our planet. Oh my gosh, Joyce, I love that. Oh, I just love that. And any of you who do not know Joyce Lynn White, Joyce is a jewel. And run right out right now, look her up on LinkedIn and connect with her because she is an amazing woman. Okay, the second reason, it builds brand awareness. And any of you who have been with me for a while know that I believe that promoting your personal brand is the absolute fastest way to get clients on LinkedIn. So it really helps build that brand and it encourages people to reach out for you. Oh, Ramesh, create harmony in the world. Oh, I love this group. This is just, you guys are great. Yeah, and you are exactly the reason that I do this because I know there are people out there like you. And then finally, your clients are already engaged in social buying. They are already researching solutions for their problems on the internet. 79% of people use social media to conduct research before they buy. So if you are able to reach them at all those different stages in their buyer's journey, then by the time they get to that point where they're making a decision on who to purchase from, you're going to be the one they think of. You're the one who's built a relationship with them, and you're the one who has built that relationship respectfully and in a way that builds value and contributes value to them as well as yourself. That's the key to social selling. Always giving. If I have said for years now that one of the best strategies for LinkedIn is generosity. Absolutely. Give a little and you'll get a lot. I promise. Okay. So here's one thing I want you to keep in mind. High ticket programs and services don't sell online. It's not that you can't get people into your funnel. It's not that people won't come to your webinars and see what you're offering and those kinds of things. But unless they see it either in a webinar where they can ask questions or if they have a personal conversation with you, they are not going to buy your high ticket packages. They'll plop down $97. They'll even plop down $997. But once you hit that $1,000 mark, it's done. Okay, they're not going to buy from you unless they've had a conversation. And think about it. If you're, well, I shouldn't say this. I was going to say, if you were going to buy a car, you wouldn't want to go and buy it online, would you? Well, that doesn't work anymore because people buy cars online. But you can still go down to the car dealer and drive that car around and kick the tires and do all of that because you are. And somebody just told me that the average new car price now is over 50,000. I'm not going to buy something for $50,000 unless I've had a conversation with someone. And that's basically the way people are. They have to believe that they have to believe in you. They have to believe in your solutions and they have to get to know you. And that's exactly what social selling is all about. So let's keep going. Okay, I mentioned the buyer's journey. There are 3 stages to it: awareness, consideration, and decision. And in the awareness stage, that's the very first stage, people are aware that they have a problem. Okay, it may be, revenue dropped off the map in Q4 of 2022. That's a problem. But they may not know why revenue dropped off. And that's a very important piece of understanding that. So during that awareness episode or the awareness part of their journey, they know they have a problem. They don't know what's causing it. And 19% of people in this stage of the buyer's journey want to talk to someone. They want to talk to a salesperson. And if you're a small business owner, that means you. So keep that in mind. 19% want help defining what's causing the problem. And then in the second stage, that's the consideration stage. And it's just what it sounds like. They are considering solutions. This is the active research stage. They are out there, they are following people, they are getting into conversations. And at this stage, 60% of people want to talk to someone. So whether you start that conversation on LinkedIn through direct messaging and then get them into a phone conversation, or whether they're on a webinar that you're doing and they can ask questions, they want help, they want to talk to someone. So between awareness and consideration, 79% of people want to talk to someone. Whoa, 79%. And then for the final stage is that decision making stage. Well, that's when they're ready to buy. And 20% of people want to talk to someone in sales at that point. But here's what I want you to keep in mind: everybody and their grandmother is focused on decision. They are focused on that step, and you will get some clients in that decision making stage. But I want you to remember this: if you only focus on that stage, you are missing 79% of the people who would have liked to have a conversation with you. And I'll tell you, those conversations that you have during that period, those periods of awareness and consideration, very often, even if they don't pay off right at that point, will pay off down the road. I just finished up my first class for the year, my first lucrative LinkedIn system for the year, and 3 out of the 9 people in that class were people that I had talked to before within the last 3 months before I started marketing for the course. So it does pay off. And it's important to keep in touch with those people, keep building those relationships, and do it in a way that provides value and indicates respect. And you will find that pipeline starts building itself because you are bringing people through by building those relationships. Okay, so let's talk about the LinkedIn Social Selling Index. And I am, just for a moment, going to show you a banner here. And you can either make a copy of that. Hold on, I'm going to go back to comments and I'm going to drop this so that you can click on it. Whoop. Oh, no, it just says the Facebook one. Oh, phew. Okay, so if you want to click on it, that's clickable, or you can copy it. And I will also send the link out when I send the replays out. We'll send the replays out on Friday. So the Social Selling Index is a LinkedIn tool. It's a free tool. You do not have to have a premium service to use this. And this is the most amazing thing that for really helping you understand how you're performing on LinkedIn. Now, the Social Selling Index has 4 pillars, and LinkedIn has designed these pillars to be able to show you how well you are performing the 4 main activities they believe enable sales on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is all about social selling. That's how it was designed. So what are those 4 pillars? The first one is brand, and you know how I feel about brand. You have to be able to promote your brand on LinkedIn. There are so many different ways to do that. I can't even get into that right now, but next month I am going to be doing another webinar on how to find where you can promote your brand on LinkedIn. So watch for that one. The second one is prospecting. How well are you finding and connecting with the right people on LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is looking at how many invitations you're extending and how many people are accepting. Okay. Then there's engagement. Now, LinkedIn is all about engagement. That's what they're encouraging. That's what they're promoting, and that's really where social selling. In social selling, that's where the rubber hits the road. I would say that's where you are engaging people in conversations, whether it's online and it's in text format, or in online in direct messaging, or commenting on things in the news feed, or directly relating to people by direct messaging. All of those are forms of engagement. And there's a lot of talk right now, and I'm going to be talking about it in a few weeks, about creator mode. Because creator mode is something that you can do with your profile that will enable you to do live streams like what I'm doing right now, to do newsletters, and just recently they added podcasts. So creator mode helps you create more content and get it out in front of more people, and hopefully then create more engagement when people comment, like, and trust, or like, comment, and share what you're publishing. But there are other ways to do engagement. One of the ways to drive up that engagement score is by commenting on other people's news things in the news feed. So both of those are extremely valuable. And I will tell you that when you engage with someone's content in the newsfeed, particularly if you comment on it, if you ask them a question to which they can reply, if you share it with your contacts, you are not only building something for that person whose content you are commenting on or sharing, you are building engagement, and you are reaching out to your own contacts, and you're not compromising your brand. You are not compromising your status as an expert. Instead, you're positioning yourself as not only an expert, but an expert who is willing to go to the end and share whatever content they can find that is beneficial to their followers and to their connections. So it does nothing but good all the way around. And then the final pillar is relationships. And we have talked about this. This is the heart of social selling. Now, when you go to the social selling index, you will have a score of between 0 and 100. Now, LinkedIn says that a score of 70 or above means that you're performing well with social selling. Top performers are in the 80s. My score normally ranges from the high 70s to the high 80s or low 90s. but I work it, and I always, always, always check my social selling index. They update it once a week on Sunday, and you can look and see. And I plotted out, well, this week I was at 89, and then I didn't publish anything for 2 weeks, and now I'm at 74. So I know that I need to go out there and I need to publish more and get that engagement going more. So when you look at your social selling index, there are going to be 4 scores. Each one is going to range between 0 and 25. And each of those scores is about one of these 4 pillars. So get this, check it regularly and keep track of your score, because this is going to give you real insight into what happens when you do things one way and what happens when you're doing things another way. I could not live without this index. And at the end of the webinar, remember I told you I was going to give you access to the lucrative LinkedIn roadmap. When you opt into that roadmap, a few days down the road, you are going to get a metrics tracker from me. And that metrics tracker will allow you, it has the social selling index in there, so you can just track your scores from month to month. You don't need to necessarily do it week by week. I'm a little obsessive about that, but I would recommend that you check it at the beginning of each month. That will really give you a lot of valuable content. Okay, so let's talk about the lucrative LinkedIn system. Now, this is a system that I developed over a period of 2 years. Here's what happened. When I come out of the world of higher ed, I'm what I call a FUD, a PhD. And so I kind of rolled around the hallowed halls of higher education for a few decades. And then I got the bug. I got the entrepreneurial bug. My parents were entrepreneurs. They loved it. They thrived on it. And something was just calling to me. So I left higher ed. I had always been teaching in career development, counseling students, all of that. So I decided to open up a career coaching package. Made sense, right? But here's the thing. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about sales. I didn't know anything about finance. I didn't know anything about running a business. And my parents knew everything about running, a radar repair business, but that wasn't going to do me a whole lot of good as a career coach. So after a year and a half, almost 2 years of struggling, I finally recognized the writing on the wall and I closed my business. It was devastating. It was really, really devastating. And it took me several months to kind of pull myself back together and decide where I was going next. And I knew where I had to go next was, one, learning how to run a business, and two, learning how to market. Because I realized that if nobody knows I'm here, nobody's going to want me to coach them. So I spent some time. I worked on this system, and I worked on developing a way that I could help clients using LinkedIn. Now, why did I choose LinkedIn? Well, first of all, because LinkedIn is the best place for lead generation on social media. If you're in B2B, hear this, 80% of website leads that come from social media come from LinkedIn. 80%, 4 out of every 5 leads. You can't afford not to be on LinkedIn. And by the way, if you're B2C, if your customers and clients are not businesses, they're people, LinkedIn also works for them, because if your clients are there, then that's where you need to be. Okay, so LinkedIn is the place for lead generation, and it's also the place for conversion. Leads from LinkedIn convert 277% more than do leads on Twitter and on Facebook. 277%. Think about that. Think about what that could do for your business. So, once again, LinkedIn is where you need to be. And here's one final little fact: LinkedIn's users are more affluent than those on other social media. I forget the exact percentage, but over half, and I think it's over 60% of people on LinkedIn make 75,000 a year or more. They can not only appreciate your business services, they can afford them. Okay, big deal. So when I decided to relaunch my business, I rebranded, I went out and I got some I took business classes. And after a while, I relaunched my business under a brand new name, Radically Rewarding Careers, and I was cooking. Everything was going great. I was getting the clients I wanted. I was finally making the money to support the kind of lifestyle I wanted. And then one day it all stopped on a dime. I fell down a flight of steps and I fractured my pelvis in 5 places. I literally lost a year of my life. I couldn't do anything. I was in constant pain. I was trying to get better, but it took a year before I was really back in business. And during that time, I lost my business. I lost Radically Rewarding Careers. I just couldn't keep up with it. So at that point, I knew that I really had to go out and make money fast. I have a family. I had to be able to make money. So I started looking into LinkedIn, learning more about it. I learned more about personal branding, and I started following all the advice of all the gurus out there. And they were saying things like, I can't believe, and I actually did this stuff too. Um, they were saying to connect with 500 people a week and to publish 5 times a day. And, and oh, good for you, Joyce. 75%, a 75 score on the social selling index. This is super. And yes, there are always places to learn and to do more. And that's why the social selling index is so helpful. I go on here and you know where I always fall down? Engage with insights, because I get busy and I forget. And so it just, I look at that social selling index and I say, okay, got to get out there and do it again. So anyway, when I relaunched, I knew I needed to be on LinkedIn, and I was following this absurd advice. I was publishing 5 times a day. I was chained to my computer and I wasn't getting clients. So I finally said, all right, this is not working, clearly. And I have to be able to do this in a way where I'm going to be able to build relationships with people so I can sell to them. And that's when I came up with this system, because there was no way in hell I was going to stay on my computer all day long. I tried that, it didn't work. So that's when I came up with this system. It's a 4-part system. And the first part, and you do them sequentially, but once you have the system in place, you can do it really quickly every day. So let's go through it. The first step is clarity. And in this step, you're going to do 3 things. 1, you're going to get clear on your goals. 2, you're going to get very, very clear on your niche. And 3, you're going to get clear on your brand. Now, why do you need that clarity? Well, first of all, goals, you need clarity about your goals, because you're not going to reach them if you don't know what they are. And your goals on LinkedIn should be based on your business goals. So if you have a goal to grow your sales revenue this year by such and such percentage, that's your goal for LinkedIn. Okay, you're going to grow revenue, which means you're going to do more sales on LinkedIn. Your goals could be to grow your connections by such and such a percent. Your goal could be to promote your book and get on more stages. There are a lot of different goals, and all of them, each goal requires a different kind of strategy. Okay. You're going to get clear in your niche, because you cannot possibly serve everyone with everything. When you start trying to do that, you serve no one. I know you've heard this. The saying goes, the riches are in the niches, meaning that the clearer and the narrower you make your niche, and I know that hurts because you feel like you're getting rid of potential leads. You're not. Believe me, you are going to get many more leads by narrowing your niche and clarifying it as to what their demographics and their psychographics are so that you can find them, you can communicate with them, and you can sell to them. So you have to know your niche. You have to understand their problems and challenges, and you have to be able to speak to those problems and challenges with clear solutions. So that's extremely important. And then finally, where you have to know your personal brand. And next month, I'll be doing another Build Your Brand in Bits and Bytes. So if you haven't been through that program, you need to go through it so you can really clarify your brand. Okay, the second stage is awareness. And in awareness, you're going to be doing three things. One is that you're going to be working on your profile. And I suggest doing your profile in two steps. First, build your basic profile. Get that standard profile set up to the best of your ability. And then secondly, I want you to go back into your profile and enhance it with multimedia and licensure and testimonials and recommendations and all that great stuff. So if your profile isn't up to date, if you haven't gone in and made it the best that it can be recently, go back and do that. Because no matter what strategy you're using on LinkedIn, they all go back to your profile. If you comment on something, people are going to look at your profile. If you invite someone to connect, they're going to look at your profile. If you publish something, they're going to look at your profile. I mean, people will be looking at your profile. So your profile has to be just amazing. Okay. It has to be irresistible to your ideal clients. And if you haven't done your profile recently, I will be doing a profile workshop in a few weeks down the road. So keep an eye out. And if you aren't following me right now with the bell, if you go to my profile and you click that bell, you'll be notified about all my events. Okay, the next part of awareness is content marketing. Now, I'm not just talking about posting the occasional article. You want to be visible on LinkedIn a lot, but that doesn't mean that you have to post 5 times a day. I suggest that you post no less than once a week and make it a significant post that offers value. Okay, something that provides real value that people are going to recognize, and it's going to cause them to follow you or connect with you. So content marketing is extremely important. And we all know, or you might not know, but let me tell you this. Content marketing can take many forms. It can be video, like what I'm doing right now. It can be an article. It can be a text post. It can be a poll. It can be a checklist or a worksheet that you upload to LinkedIn that'll be helpful to people. It can be a carousel ad that takes them through a slide presentation, not an ad, a carousel post that takes them through a slide presentation. All of these get a lot of engagement. So you don't have to post every day. Post at least once. And if you post 3 times, you're golden. What are the best days to post on LinkedIn? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during working hours or right before work, during lunch, and right towards the end of work. But evenings, weekends are pretty much dead. By the time you hit noon on Friday until noon on Sunday, I wouldn't post a lot. But on Sunday afternoon, people start getting into LinkedIn again, and that might work for you. But remember, post at least once a week. Once you get into the habit, it's not that difficult. Okay, and then after that, I want you, when you're in this stage, to investigate marketing automation. And by that, I mean, look at how to use automation responsibly. There is automation that will help you with your LinkedIn invitations and your LinkedIn messaging. But you have to do this in a way that's respectful. I know I keep using that word, but it's a big word. A way that's respectful and a way that's personal. The most powerful thing that you can do to enhance your invitations and your messaging on LinkedIn is to personalize them. So here's a little tip. I want you, every time you communicate with someone on LinkedIn, to go to their profile and communicate to them from there, because that's going to let you look at something on their profile and go, oh, I can comment on this. You want to make this conversation personal. Okay, another kind of automation that people use a lot is for content marketing. And, Buffer, Hootsuite, there are some others that I'm probably not thinking of right now where you can schedule your posts online and then they will post them to all the different social media. Well, LinkedIn has something new that I want to make sure you know about. When you post on LinkedIn, now this is just so cool. When you post on LinkedIn and you know where to go to post on your home page, you're going to look at the top of that center column where it says something like, what would you like to post? And when you look there and you click in that column and start your post, down in the right-hand corner, you are going to see a little clock motif, a little icon. If you click on that icon, you can schedule that post. How cool is that? So you can go in once a month. If you're one of these people who does their content in batches, you can go in once a month and schedule all your posts. I would keep a record of when they're going out because people are going to be responding to them, but you can actually set everything up at one time. And this is the really cool part. Up until now, you could not schedule articles and newsletters, which are creator mode. A creator mode tool. Newsletters are a form of article. When you publish a newsletter on LinkedIn, it goes to your subscribers, but it also gets published in the news feed with a follow me tag by it. And when you do that, LinkedIn will now let you schedule articles too. You have to go to the articles, and when you get ready to post it, it's going to ask you if you want to schedule it. How cool is that? I mean, really, this is a game changer. I was playing with this all weekend. It's absolutely fabulous. So take advantage of it. Okay, the third stage is lead generation. And this has three different parts. The first is prospecting. That's knowing how to find your ideal clients. Okay, and I will do next month again. I will run my 7 ways to find your ideal clients, and that will show you exactly how to drill down on LinkedIn and find the exact people that you need to connect with. So prospecting is very important. There's also connecting. Those are the invitations. And if there's one thing I want you to remember, I already gave you this tip, but I'm going to say it again because it's so important. Personalize your invitations. Go to their profile, click on connect, or if you don't see connect, click on more and then click on connect in the drop-down menu. Why do you want to connect from their profile? Because their profile is the only place where you can add a note. You can add a 300 character, that includes white spaces, a 300 character note on, to them, telling them why you're inviting them to connect. And that is golden. So what you want to do in that 300 character note is tell them, say something about something you got off their profile. Okay, it could be, hey Joyce, I see you live in Florida, I grew up there. Or it could be, hey Joe, I see you went to the University of Florida, gator bait. I could be doing, or I could say, hey, I see you went to FSU, Go Seminoles. So you can personalize them and then tell them very briefly what you do and why you want to connect. It could be something as simple like sometimes I'll say something like, hey, so and so, see you went to the University of Florida. Go Gators. I'm a LinkedIn expert and I specialize, or I'm a personal branding strategist and I specializing in helping coaches get more clients on LinkedIn. Would you like to connect? And that's all I say so that people know who I am. I'm not tricking them. I'm not hiding them because some people don't want to be approached by a LinkedIn expert. I'm letting them know who I am so they can make an informed decision. And I think people appreciate that. Okay, the third part is nurturing, and that's all that messaging, all those direct messages. And there are sequences that you can build. You want to build a sequence that has a welcome message and then has maybe 3 or 4 more messages that provide some kind of value or start a conversation. And then finally, you're going to suggest having a conversation, hopping on a call for 15 minutes. Now, that's sometimes kind of scary. It is for me. I don't like sales calls, to be honest with you. And I think I told you how I felt about cold sales calls, but I don't mind sales calls at all when I'm using this system. You know why? Because I just went through 4 stages of building a relationship with this person. I just exchanged emails with them. They've seen my content. They know who I am. So by the time they connect with me, we're talking about, their biggest problems and challenges, and then which of my solutions would be the best match. Just do people always buy from me? Of course not. But I have a pretty good close rate, and that's because, and I don't push. I do not push. My close rate is really good, and that's because people always already know me before we get into that conversation. Okay, so that last piece is the sales, and as I told you, here in lead generation, we're finding them, we're connecting with them, and we're engaging with them, and then in the final stage, we're doing that sales call. So keep your eye because yes, I will be doing a webinar on selling pretty soon. This is also the stage where you're going to do analysis, and what are you going to analyze? You're going to analyze all the metrics that go with the goals that you set up in that very first stage, that clarity stage. And that's where that metrics tracker that I'm going to give you will help you, because I want you to go in once a month and check your metrics to make sure that you are on the right track. Wouldn't you rather know in March that what you're doing is or isn't working than get to the end of the year before you figure it out and go, oh, that wasn't working? No, you want to figure it out now. So you want to go in and check your metrics. So let's say you want to connect with more people. What are some of the metrics that could help you know whether you are on your way to meet your goal? Well, one might be profile views. How many people are looking at your profile? People who are looking at your profile had some reason to look at it. So that's one indication of how well you're doing. Another indication might be how many invitations you're getting and how many of the invitations you're sending are getting responses, are getting positive responses. So I want you to pay attention to your metrics. I want you to follow a system, and I want you to get more clients. Okay. That's my reason for being here. Remember, that's my big why, helping you do your big why. And looking at Ramesh and Joyce and knowing that there are others like them out here right now, I want you to do this because the world needs you. Okay. So if you are in, and that is what the world, or all there is to know about the lucrative LinkedIn system. Now you will have many more opportunities to learn about this. I'm right here live streaming most Wednesdays. I take 1 week off a month. And that will be next week because I'm going to a conference. But I want you to know that if you do not have someone right now who can take you by the hand and lead you step by step through building a LinkedIn pipeline, then make an appointment to apply for coaching with me, and we'll talk about it. We'll see if it's a good fit. Hey, you're welcome, Joyce. You have an awesome day. And if you just want to ask me a question, you can get a hold of me at dumont@dumontowen.com, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Now, what I want you to do is connect with me the right way. Go to my profile, mention that you saw this live stream, and then invite me to connect. Okay? So finally, not finally, I have one more thing for you, but next week not next week, I'm going to be gone at a conference next week. The following week, I'll be here talking about creator mode. Okay, so you don't want to miss that. And then finally, this is where you can get the roadmap. And I can drop that in the chat too, so that you can go ahead and download it. When you get the roadmap, it's going to set you up in a series of emails, and one of those emails is going to bring you the LinkedIn metrics counter. So I want you to keep an eye out for that. So hold on. Let me see if I can here we go. I'm going to drop the roadmap link in comments for you. So if you're live, go ahead and grab that link now. And if not, if you're watching it on the replay, go grab that link right now. And tune in 2 weeks to see my next presentation is Creator Mode Right for You. And at the same time, if you are not connected with me, please do so, because I will send you notifications on my events as they come up. So, Judy, thank you so much. Everybody, this has once again been a pure joy. I always love these sessions. So I won't be here with you next week, but there are lots of LinkedIn Lives on, that I've done. So you can go to my events page and you can see them. So listen, have a great Wednesday, have a great next of the week, and have a great next week. And I will see you on the 26th to talk about creator mode. Bye now.